والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. Uh, Imam Ghazali Center for Research and Publication organized today's webinar on research and publications, which is entitled PhD Thesis and Proposal Defense, Common Questions and Answer Session, which is will be headed by one of the prominent scholars and researchers, Associate Professor Dr. Abul Bashar. So this special session will be modeled and designed for all our young researchers. Hopefully, all of us will be benefiting through this comprehensive and resourceful webinar. So we are trying to start officially. I hope those are joined already will be enjoying, and if you could possible, please try to inform your friends to join as soon as possible. It's a quite difficult time. Those are sleeping in the morning, so I hope you will be benefiting. So without further delay, we try to start officially. So for the moment, we are trying to get the blessings of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So we tried. We are requesting our brother Baharuddin from UiTM to recite from the Holy Quran for us. Please welcome, brother. Thank you. Baharuddin.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم نزل عليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يديه وأنزل التوراة والإنجيل من قبل هدى للناس وأنزل الفرقان إن الذين كفروا بآيات الله لهم عذاب شديد والله عزيز ذو انتقام إن الله لا يخفى عليه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء هو الذي يصوركم في الأرحام كيف يشاء لا إله إلا هو العزيز الحكيم صدقت يا رب العالمين. Thank you.
Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you very much for beautiful recitation. I'm so sorry I could not open my camera. I don't know why. I got some request to open, but maybe something happened. But never mind. We want to see the face of our mentor, our instructor today. That's very important for us. So I think no need to see my face, hopefully. So Alhamdulillah, we done Quranic recitation. So do we have a Islamic sing? Is there any singer that we could use our time? If not, then should we have a break for a few minutes? Almost how many join? 23 join. Alhamdulillah.
I think we can start because already 9:36, 5 minutes over.
Okay, so shall we start now or just wait 5 minutes?
So is there any opinion from the audience?
Okay, I think audience are ready. So could anyone raise anything that if we start, because since those who attend on time, we need to appreciate your time also, your efforts also, because you sacrifice your sleeping and you join. So please raise whether we should wait for a few minutes or we could start, because I think slowly joining, already 25. So
Yeah,
I think,
many of them already joined in the YouTube channel.
oh, YouTube channel, Alhamdulillah. So I think we could start, right, Prof?
Yeah, please.
Alhamdulillah. So as you are already witnessed previously, our topics, everything. So I'm just trying to request our prof, mentor, associate professor, Dr. Abul. So just for your information, we are trying to give a brief history or academic history of our respected guest today. So as all of you know his name, Associate Professor Dr. Abul Bhuiyan. Currently, he is serving as an associate professor in the Jeffrey Sachs Center of Sustainable Developments, JSC, Sunway University, Selangor, Malaysia. I hope all of you know this sustainable development project is directly headed by the UN, and this the name of his scholars, which is one of the leading scholars in sustainable development. His further biography shows us that he has been working in academic research, supervising as well as teaching the postgraduate students in different leading reputed universities and academic institutions in Malaysia last 15 years, especially as a senior lecturer at the University of Malaysia, Parlis UNIMAP, and senior lecturer at the University Utara Malaysia, UUM. I think both of these universities, well reputed and public universities, all of us know. Also, he is prior to join in Sunway, he was working as an associate professor at the University of Selangor, Selangor, Malaysia. He also have been awarded his PhD degree from Institute of Environment and Development, National University of Malaysia, which is one of the top ranked universities in the all rankings. Currently, QS ranks is 126. Alhamdulillah, it is a best university. There are more than there are more than 150 articles presented and published in referred journals and index conferences proceedings, as well as chapters in books and related fields. So this, Alhamdulillah, I see quite details, but I hope it will be taking long time. So just I'm trying to keep very short. And mostly, I think, Alhamdulillah, he's doing excellent his area based on his research on microfinance and poverty alleviation, sustainable development, all are his area. If I just summarize his area, it's mostly, as I mentioned, sustainable livelihood, microfinance, institutional sustainability, corporate governance, corporate social responsibilities, environment governance, Islamic finance, corporate performance, and efficiency, leverage and risk measurements and mitigation. That means the wide range of expertise he has. Alhamdulillah, in today's session, we will be gravely benefiting from his expertise and his 15 years of experience. And mostly, as I know, this some extra that he's mostly supervising PhD students, because previously he was working very closely near my area, and I heard from his colleague that Alhamdulillah he has supervising 32 PhD students, which is a lot and quite unbelievable. But Alhamdulillah, he has managed. So I hope even personally me also will be getting some benefit from him. May Allah bless him. So without further delay, we've asked him to start your specific topic webinar. So please, the floor is yours, Prof. Please welcome.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Is my sound is okay?
Yes, Alhamdulillah, clear.
Okay. So, Alhamdulillah, Allah Meherbani, we are going to start a discussions, and today discussion is not that formal discussions we are going to do. So it is interaction sessions. We want to share and we want to learn, and also we will explore all the critical parts of the challenge the normally student they are going through during the Viva or proposal defense. Alhamdulillah, so far my experience, whatever Prof. Dr. Maruf mentions, I'm still learning. But until now, I think I had gone through the number of PhD viva with my student and also as an internal and external. So it is a really critical times when students go through that process. And majority of the, the questions, uh, way we prepare, sometimes it does not mess. So that's why today's session will be very comprehensive for all of us. So I will share whatever the minimum experience and knowledge that I have gone through my, the experience and expertise. So as I said, today's session is interactive session. I want to make it, everyone has to, break your ice. Whatever the questions in your mind, please raise the questions. I will have a very short presentations and show you the major, the questions normally being asked during the, the defense. But out of that, there is lots of challenge from each of individuals in your mind. So please don't hesitate. Make it, it is your sessions. Any questions, without any hesitations, we will try to, find the solutions. What should be the best answer to do? Okay, so before I go for the presentation, I want to know from the audience, is my presentation slide is there? Is
Okay,
my,
okay. I see. Okay.
okay, okay, please. And okay, before we go to the QA sessions, because we are in a different stage, many of you are maybe the final stage for the VIVA, final stage for the defense proposal. Many are maybe just started for today or maybe this semesters, maybe in the second semester. So that's why I try to make it, a little bit, some introductions that everyone with us to know about what actually we are going to discuss. So first of all, the QA session for today is what sorts of questions are being asked during the, the defense and VIVA. So what defense of VIVA? Normally when you do some research work for master's or PhD, so that we need to defense. So what does mean the research? Everyone know that. Research means some things that we are going to discover in new, nobody has done it before. And there's a lots of problem and, the questions arising around us, in our community, in our society. And is there any questions? I just want to know. Okay. So I have a few questions which say answer Q&A session. Okay, no problem. Please. Dr. Maruf, whatever the questions coming in the chat box, please take a note. And we need to, try to answer each of every questions. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
So, so research, we know that we are going to solve serious and complex issues around us. And in a normal research is fine that whatever we can find the solutions, we can show that this is the answer that we found it. But for the academic research, it's different. Academic research, we need to do some sorts of, the process. We need to follow some sorts of process that is, the academic, the structure of the research has, the expected. So we need to find that some unique process of, the research and solutions that nobody has done it before. For the PhD, for the masters, yes, some things we can introduce that it is something new, but it is not too general that it is available in the, the knowledge, available in the the knowledge world. So that's why it is little bit different than the, the action research or applied research. So academic research, we must follow the process and we must answer the process that we go through. Okay. And especially for the PhD, because this is a look like the scenario. I think everyone is agree with me that when you start PhD, when you get a comment from surrounding us, especially from supervisor and also from our colleagues, our friends, and also the different academic scholar, that we feel maybe I could not able to finish it. Every PhD student, we face a similar problem that it's look like a picture that PhD is not easy. Everyone is waiting to catch me. So that is the challenge for PhD. And but end of the day, actually, if you follow the process, if you can start a very good start from the right process, I think there is a way to go. There is a way to go. It is not impossible journey. It is not some things that we cannot do that. We have to face the challenge, and that challenge we need to answer. Sorry, my son is disturbing. Wait a second, please. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm my son. He wanted to join with me. So okay. So that's challenging part is answering the questions. So whatever the thesis we prepare, so there is lots of the points that we need to be justified. So that we will discuss today. And why it is very serious questions asked for the PhD, because we need to show that, and this is some things the conceptual models, whatever it is that we produce, that nobody has done it before. So it has to be an intensive, and that has to be challenged to the knowledge of the work. So that's why it is not, the similar that any other research that we have. So it is very intensive. And to go through this, the PhD research and process, normally, this is my, I discovered this process. This is not that I know that I get it from somewhere else, but this is my innovations. So we have to start a very, very good, the fresh foundation of our research. If we do that, then that should be the first challenge that we overcome. So this is a research process that I developed. So I'm not going to discuss, everything because this is not our part. So this research process we have to follow to the stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5, stage 6. So stage 1, it is started any problem that we are facing. So we call it initial research interest. And then to define of this research, we have to go through the existing knowledge available in our, the world. So that is we call the review of the existing literature. Then we need to find what are the idea that we developed, and that is we call define the research problems. And then we go through the research design, and we explain what are the tools and methodologies that we're going to use it, and then what are the sources of data that we are collected. And stage 5, we are going to analyze the data and interpret the data, interpret the result of the data. And end of the stage, we need to make the summary of conclusion and recommendation for this research. This is a very, very common structure, but in my experience, I found major challenge faced for the PhD research in Malaysia, especially, that not follow the right process. So if we have a chance, maybe another day we'll discuss the common mistake and right process of the research. So that was the, the initial, the ice breaking from my side, that what questions that we are going to discuss. Okay. So what are the common questions that the research, PhD research, for the master's research, the academic research that we are, the mentions that student normally face. So I'm not answering the questions, but I just explaining some questions for your understanding, for your, the informations, that later on you will ask the questions, then we will answer it. Okay. General questions. When Bible started, there is some very, the unique, and I can say a challenging part, because examiner, they read your thesis 3 to 4 months, and there's a lots of small issues and issues is there. But when it comes, for the asks you that after your presentations of your, the slide, so that common question is coming. Can we summarize your thesis in a few sentences? This is very difficult. So you have a 300-page thesis, lots of elements in, but you need to summarize what is the, the few sentence, maybe 3 to 4 or 5 sentences, that these are, my thesis. This is my thesis. So what actually you achieve, or what actually the problem you are going to solve. So you need to summarize for this, your thesis. So, and this question is come very, the different way. Somebody can tell that what is the problem that you are going to solve. And also sometimes people ask you that, examiner asks you, what motivations you to undertake this research, or what are the, the literature gap, or what are the knowledge gap, what are the, the contributions that it is, you contributed in the knowledge, in the policy, in the theories. And then also it linked to the, what are the research questions, what are the, the hypotheses that you achieve. So this is not a specific, the point, but it is very generalized, but answer should be very strong, because these few questions check you that how good you are to demonstrate that what you are going to answer in the next stage. If you have a very strong answer in this stage, examiner and all the other member of the committee, they will be, the consider that you have a very strong arguments or defense that whatever you are presented. But if you are very, the weak or confusions, you have a very poor demonstrations on these general parts in the first stage. So it gives the negative impact, impact that reflection should be, yeah, you are not that sound to defend your, the thesis that you are going to present it, or you are going to, achieve your master's or PhD. So this is the general parts. Please take a notes. Any question from this side? If you ask later, we will discuss. Next is, we call it, sorry, 1 minute. Okay, I have some technical issues because I cannot see that. Okay, for the next stage is border aspect. The similar like, the general point of views, and it is coming to the, the is a little bit depth to know that what is the depth of your research. So how does your research relate to real world applications? So that is challenging you that is there anything that you have done, it is going to solve the whatever the problems that we are the facing in the world. And then it is also other way to ask, how does your work align with the contemporary development in the field? So what are the recent developments are going on that you are contributing by this research? And other way also the question sometimes come, how would you explain your research to non-specialist audience? Means that in your area is contributed. Is there any the other influence that those they are not audience but they also benefited? So these are the the depth questions, policy implications questions also. Initially after general they can go through, or sometimes the borders the questions come at end of the Bible. So that's why I brought it in the second stage, because I found that it is sometimes, the after general questions, someone want to go more depth to know how good you are to explain, the policy related implications. Okay. Next is the question for the literacy review. I think everyone know that what is the literacy review. So there is a lots of specific questions. There is a lots of the hypothetical questions. Also the to know about the how you develop your the frameworks, your literature gap. There is a lots of uh, you know the points that it is uh, you have to be justified. But sometimes some of the the examiner, they started from page number 1, page number 2, page number 3, and that is the bullshit. Many of the viva I face as a external examiner, internal examiner, many examiner they started. We want to know the page number this, page number the number by the page, a number by line. Actually, that is not a good examining. So the literature and all the chapters that we have. So there is some very, very, the major questions the student has to be justified, not what mistakes we have the comma, we have a problem with the, the some sorts of citations. We have a problem with the maybe this different types of, the grammatical errors. That is not a major issue. Major issue is you have to justify how does your work relate to the existing literacy? And then what are the main gaps in the literature that your research address? You see, so end of the day, we need to justify that. What are the gaps? Gaps is different types of gaps. We have the knowledge gaps, we have the methodological gaps, we have the geographical gaps, we have the the contribution gaps, theoretical contributions, we have a the policy complication implementations, we have a the different types of uh, you know uh, area that they are facing the different types of problems. So that's the the major questions that you have to answer. And if you ask me what is the major questions this majority of the student fail, the second questions, that when they ask what are the literature gap and how did you develop it, or show me that this gap is enough for your PhD. And this is a very the challenging questions for my experience. But if any student prepare the right process to follow the research process and develop the the literature gap based on the whatever the research that they have and whatever the literature that they've gone through, I think answer is very specific and they can answer it. And how did you choose these particular theories? We mentioned after literature gaps, there is a theoretical justifications. What is the theoretical justifications? Theoretical justification means when we have gone through maybe 300 articles and we do the literature review and summarize the literature review, end of the day, we prepare the summarize of literature review, that is literature gap. So for the PhD, as it is, we need to show that it must be a unique one. Nobody has done it before. So anybody can challenge this 200, 300 article summarization. So what we need to do, we need to go our summarization of the literature gap, go with the justification of the theories, because every area of the research or knowledge, there is a established knowledge, established theories. So theories is is a permanent the knowledge until today. So there's we need to go to justify our initial literature gap, that what is the what it was the theory that developed. Is it the justify my gaps? It is justify my initial research frameworks. So that's why when you have to have justify the theories, they will have to ask the questions. Why this theory is the important, or why this theory is the relevant to justify your frameworks. Even sometimes they ask you the what variables that you use in your frameworks, which theory is justified. So it's very specific sometimes. And end of the day, that what literature gap we found or address, and how this literature gap is contributing to develop our frameworks. So that is we found the questions for the question in the literature part. The next is methodological, the sections. So there is a lots of questions are basically come to know about what are the instruments we use, and what are the the sources of data, what are the sampling techniques, what are the the units that we are going to analyze, and what are the statistical methods, what are the econometrical the tools, and what are the software that we are use. So summarizing of all the elements, first question asks, what is the approach? What is the approach of your research, or what is the why did you choose this particular methodological approach? As you know, the different types, there are two types of methodological approach. One is quantitative, another is qualitative, but sometimes it might be the combined, we call it mixed method. So that should be the first alignment that you need to answer, that what is the present, what is the, sorry, the approach of your research. Is it quantitative? Is it qualitative? Or is it the methodologic? Is it the mix? What should be the right answer? I will wait later on for when the same question is coming. And then how did you answer the validity and reliability of your research? So whatever, the data that we collected, there is a validations and, the reliability process. So we need to ensure that how good of our questionnaires, it is a quantitative research. So reliability means how good of the consistency, internal consistency of the questionnaires. Means that if your questionnaire is not relevant, or it has many similar types of questions that you ask, the same issues, then your reliability will be very low. So you need to prove that your questionnaire, that those questionnaire you use, or those construct you develop, those construct you use in the development of your research questionnaire, then it must be justified by the reliabilities. And the validity that we use for to know about statisticals, the implementations. What are the, the statistical result, is it valid or not? So that should be the second stage of the data analysis or methodological part. Where there are any limitation in your chosen of the methodology, that is also sometimes, to check you that does it, any limitations in your minds that you face challenge during data collections, during analysis of the results. Sometimes data and expectation and result might not be the same. So if your hypothesis, you expected positive result, but your data showed a very, very poor result. You expected the null hypothesis means the negative result, but your data show the opposite. So that's, you need to, find the, the constraints of your methodology. And that is why they ask these questions, because every study, there is a challenge in the methodological parts, data analysis part. So if you are honest, then there might be a challenge. But if you said no, so something wrong, then examiner can link this one to your analysis part. If your analysis is not, the enough, or is not a very strong result, so then they can ask you again, if there is no limitation, why result is this? So that's why it is a very, the checking of your, the mind, that actually what is going on, or what it was going during your, data analysis times. Okay. How do you justify the data collection analysis technique that you use? That is also the similar questions that we use. How did you ensure the validity and reliability? So the same question actually. And this is a very broader aspect, that they can come down with the use of individual elements. For example, few relevant questions in the methodology. What is your sampling method? What is the sources of your data? And sampling method, there's two types of sampling methods. We have a probabilistic sampling method, we have a non-probabilistic sampling method. So how many sample is enough? There is a calculations. So sometimes we did a mistake, we did not go through the sampling method, supervisor said 300, 400, we do that. And we collected, but at the end of the day, when someone asks, what is the sampling method? We don't know, we just drop from the sky. So that is the, the very reasonable. And also, what is the sources of data? Is the data that we collected, they're the right sources, they're the right person, they're the right, the respondent or not? We need to validate that. End of the day, we need to use what statistics. There's a two types of statistics. There's a basic statistic, we call it descriptive statistics. Normally, we use the mean, median, mode, standard deviations, ANOVA, t-test, the correlations like that. And we have another one is econometric statistics. That one is advanced level of statistics. We use the different types of model. We have the regression. There's a different types of regression models. We have the, means that smart PLS we use, structural equation modelings. We use the panel data regressions. We use the state. So there are lots of econometrics, advanced statistics that normally we being used based on the relevancy, based on the required needs. So you need to justify why this is important, why you use this. That is, the important to answer. Okay. The next question is findings. We have done, the collection of the data, and we set the methodology, and now we are analyze this data. So after analyze that, we can see that how good research findings that I found. So there is a lots of, the small and specific questions, and examiner can go through each of individual analysis and result. And most tricky part, that if you cannot answer from each of individual result that this is relevant and this is right way to do that, then anyone can be cause for rejection of your, the thesis. This is, I'm saying, those they are doing for the quantitative research. Okay. So what are the main findings of your research? This is very generalized questions. What do your results, how do your results contribute in the fields? And did any of your findings surprise? Means that is whatever we expected telling different here. How do you interpret the unexpected results? So sometimes, this is very interesting and challenging. For example, if any findings surprise you, what you have to do now? Normally we do manipulate, we do go there and these, finding what is the other way to do to prove that my result is okay. But this is not a strong way to do that. This is not a right way to do that. What is the strong way to do that? Whatever the data you found, you check it again, the reliability and validity, or if all are fine, then you interpret it, whatever you have found, and you accept it, and you find that if in any other research they have similar types of results, then you can, link that their findings. If it is not, you can also define that's all that I found that. Be honest on this. Then examiner will be, acknowledge your boldness. Maybe something is new. Maybe demographic, the respondent point is different. Okay, so that's why that sometimes we do some mistakes. We want to make everything, the informal, everything is positive, everything is whatever we like, but that is a weak point of the defend of your thesis. Okay, and for the discussion and implications. So after we found our result or findings, we need to answer following questions. How do your findings compare to the existing studies? This is very, very important. So important, and this is a very, very weak point for the students, because as examiner we know that whatever the findings we found, that it is not easy to compare with the existing studies, existing literature, but we need to do that. If we cannot do that, they can easily put you in the wrong side, that, oh, your result, whatever you found, is it valid? We don't know. Is it enough? We don't know. Why not? You can go with the positive or negative with the existing studies result. So that's why this is a very major issues that you have to be very careful. At least find when you run a model, when you justify your hypothesis, please find someone that they have the similar or dissimilar result. No problem, but show the evidence that will give you the strength and the support you that you have done a wonderful job. What are the practical theoretical implication of your research? So this is also another way that previously I mentioned that after literature gap, we need to go through the theoretical justifications. So theoretical justification, normally we do the two-way that, there's a two types of theoretical justification. One is we call the inductive, another is deductive. So inductive means that it starts without theories. But majority, if you do the quantitative research or social science research, it is come from the theory. That is what we call the deductives. So when your result found, discussion is there. So you need to link that what theory says about that. We mentioned the underpinning the theories. When you do, we prepare the research frameworks that now we need to compare the result. What we said before, is it same now or not? If it is not same, we need to explain why it is not same. So that's why it's very, very strong questions, to justify. The next is, how does your work contribute to the advancement of knowledge in your field? So then, as I said, the PhD, you need to produce something unique. So if it is something unique, so it must be, the enhance some knowledge in the different level, in the next level. That is what we call the contribution to the advancement of the knowledge. So you can link with this question to what is the major contributions, how many hypotheses that you have accepted, how many hypotheses that you have rejected, and based on the hypothesis, what is the recommendations that you given to the policymaker, you given to the the academics, scholar for the next research. Okay. And next question is, who would benefit most from your research? So this is very major questions that I mentioned here, but there is so many, the sub questions and inside small questions, will burn your brain. So you need to prepare for that. So if you have any questions, that please ask me later. Okay, limitation and future works. So what are the limitation of your studies? That is also a very, very, the negative questions, or maybe the positive way examiner asks you to know your mind, what it was, how you, the gone through your add to the process of your study. So you need to find that right limitations that can indicate, the validation of this answer or these questions. If you were to redo the research, what you do the different? So after limitations, they can link to that. Yes, there is some limitations. If you have a chance to do the same research again, so what should be the difference? How you want to include, so how you want to add, how you want to, the find your the research that can be make it more appropriate and more the strong, that you did not do it your or your the master's times. So you need to link to the next stage. How do you plan for the extend your research in the future? So this is coming to the end of almost end of the sessions, that what actually, okay, you achieve your PhD. PhD means that you have a license, or you have a certified, we certified you that you are a certified researcher. You are, in a positions that you know what is the philosophical, the implications. So you are begin of your, philosophical thought, and you can do so many research that you are expert now for that. That's why you need to also, the answer very, very mature answer for what do you plan for the extend your research in the future. For the future that I did not achieve that, so what is next that I'm going to achieve? So it is depend on your, the whatever you, uh, the challenge that you face and whatever you are going to achieve in the next. Okay. What areas do you think that need further exploration based on your findings? So that is not only you, someone, maybe another PhD started in the same area. So what is your suggestions to that? So what is your suggestion that what challenge you face, they might not face the same. So what should be the, the theoretical, what should be the methodological, what should be the philosophical, what should be the, the review of literature issues, what should be the conceptual, challenge that they have to start to overcome and start a good start. Okay. I think that is the, the questions. And I think last one, the critical reflections. There is sometimes they go through the different angle of your minds to know how good you to defend. So for example, how do you defend your choice of research scope and objectives? Does it match or does it enough? Okay. So why are there any ethical concerns in your research? Is there any ethical concerns? And if it is yes, how did you address them? Okay. This is not a specific, again, this is come to the another round of, the, you know, uh, burn your, the mind, or burn your brain, that what is your answer for that? Okay. How confident are you in the robustness of your conclusions? So whatever the conclusions you have gone, or your recommendations is there, how serious, how confident you are, that is, is really in line with your, the research question objectives and hypothesis, and that is relevant. So you need to give a specific alignments to answer of these questions from the beginning to end. All should be the inline. A good research, your title, your objectives, your research questions, your hypothesis, your findings, your conclusions, your recommendations, all should be in line. If there are any dissimilarities, it is a wrong research. Then lots of questions you need to answer. Okay. Now, can you explain why you prioritize that certain aspect of your research over others? So there is also, you can comparison that compared to all others, actually, this is the some things that I have done. It was necessary. Okay. So this is the questions, major questions is coming from the critical reflections, but not same questions. Maybe there will be many small, and, the interlinked questions asked the examiner. in the final rounds, maybe before ending of the Q&A sessions, they can ask the same questions that what it was asked in the general stage. But now they know that your the defense positions. They know that you have answered very good. Now they know that you have answered moderate. You have answered not that at all. So then they can again give you the chance. What is a single important points can you tell that it is contributed by your thesis? This is a chance, last chance for you to make you very stronger. That yes, if you could summarize your thesis in one sentence, what I said, this is again that someone can come the same questions we asked in the first. How do you plan to, disseminate your research, publication and presentation? What are the publications that you have done? What are the preparation plan of your publications? So that can indicate that how good you have done your research last times. Do you have any questions for the examiner? So sometimes, I don't know, my stage was different. So when I attended my Viva, there was lots of questions, huge questions. But end of the day, when I got a chance, not end of the present Q&A session, but even every end of the questions, is there any not in a right way, or there is a gap of the examiner that they don't know about what it is inside my thesis? So I actually ask the questions. For example, one of the major question asked from the internal that I did I developed the index for poverty elevations, and we have done all the analysis, and we use the econometrics to justify our index. And then unlucky, the examiner overlook it. He challenged me that why you show that you develop the index, but it does not implement in your thesis. So then I asked, Prof, it is wrong. I have done it. So sometimes it is also very politely, if you can raise your strength, or when examiner asks the question, if you find any weakness, please don't be silent. Very politely and humble way, you raise your stand that yes, it is. Actually, I'm me and my supervisor think that way. You are fine. I'm not going to argue with you, but the way we thought, way we implemented, these are the process that we follow. So then it can be give the chance to rethink by the examiner. So that's why if you have any chance or any weak points from the examiner part, please use it very nicely and very politely. That will give you the more strength, but not irrelevant, or not to do like to unnecessary bargain, and that does not have any merits. It will give the more, the negative, reflection from your side. So make it intellectually, politely, and right way that it is important. So I think I have finished my presentations. Now I come to you, Brother Mubashir. I cannot see the screen. So should I, okay, should I stop?
Better you stop the sharing
Okay,
for a question answer session. But if anyone asks you based on the slide, I think you can share at that time.
okay. So I stop sharing, all right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I
Okay,
think
thank you.
now
Thank you very
floor
much.
is yours. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prof. Alhamdulillah, it was really as insightful. I was also listening very carefully. It was very, very resourceful, and really, I think the participant will be immensely benefited. So actually, we have received some couple of questions. So if you allow me, then I will read from the beginning. Is it okay?
I think we listen first, then side by side, maybe one question from chat box and another question from that someone want to share. So we just go through the both side that we can cover.
Okay, inshallah.
So any question from the audience? Because I open it, I wanted to, listen from your struggle. This is not a something, even I had a plan that I don't want to present anything. I just want to listen from you, what struggle that you are.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Hassanul Bari.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing my PhD in communication, IUM.
Mhm.
Firstly, when I've come here, I had a great target that my PhD will be super awesome thing. But from the very much beginning of my communication and meetup with my supervisor, she said, brother, you just should take this is a degree, not it is a huge thing. Just simply take as a degree. So as simple as your ideas and headline will be for your research, that will be better. Then I got frustrated. Oh, I thought that I would do the research that will be mesmerizing and amazing for the implementation in the society. Alhamdulillah. Now, so firstly, I was become over ambitious from my master's level. So how to be the precise and concise to fix the ideas? So actually, I have to know that how to remove the over ambition.
May I know that what is your area and what stage you are now?
Actually, I am doing research, de-westernizing communication theories, a prophetic framework for the communication academy of Muslim worlds. মানে আমি করতে চাচ্ছি যেটা সেটা হচ্ছে যে আমাদের মুসলিম ওয়ার্ল্ডের যে জার্নালিজম কমিউনিকেশন যে একাডেমিয়া এখানে অলমোস্ট 100% থিওরি পড়ি আমরা ওয়েস্টার্ন। এই ওয়েস্টার্ন থিওরি আবার আমাদেরকে যারা পড়ায় সেটা মুসলিম দেশে হোক, মেজরিটি বাম বা অন্য ধারার মানুষ। তো বাম টিচার আর ওয়েস্টার্ন থিওরি এই দুইটা দিয়ে তো ভালো প্রোডাক্ট তৈরি হওয়া সম্ভব না। তো সেখানে আমি ডিওয়েস্টার্নাইজ থিওরি তৈরি করতে যাচ্ছি এবং একটা প্রফেটিক ফ্রেমওয়ার্ক এখানে প্রপোজ করতে চাই, এই আর কি।
Okay, I think your question is,
অ্যাম্বিশন কিভাবে দূর করা যাবে?
actually why you remove your ambitions. Ambitions should be keep on, but sometimes maybe the supervisor, the professor, they give you that make your available things reasonably, you can finish your study on times. So sometimes, for example, I think there is another question also asked. I saw the screen that theory is
বাশার ভাই,
yeah.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম, খায়রুল।
জি, উস্তাদ।
বাস আমার ছোট্ট একটা কোশ্চেন ছিল যে ওই ভাইয়ের কাছে
জি।
উনি অ্যাম্বিশিয়াস বলতে কি বুঝাইতে চাচ্ছেন, একটু এটা যদি বোঝা যায় তাহলে আমরাও অ্যান্সার করতে একটু মানে মানে সহজ হইতো। উনি অ্যাম্বিশিয়াস বলতে কি বুঝাইতে চাচ্ছেন?
আমাকে প্রথম দিন আমার সুপারভাইজার বলছে যে তুমি ওভার এম্বিশিয়াস, কারণ তুমি এত বড় আইডিয়া নিয়ে কিভাবে কাজ করবা, 57টা মুসলিম দেশ তুমি একসাথে চিন্তা করতেছো, এত কেন? তুমি বি সিম্পল ইন ইওর আইডিয়াস।
Okay, Hervé, I got the point. So normally, for example, I have shown the research process. There's every research you need to follow the process.
রাইট।
When you follow the process, so you need to know that how you can manage. So that's why from the supervisor point of view, they give you the easy way to do that. But for my understanding, what actually our Dr. Khairul Islam mentions, this is very relevant. So sometimes we set our ambitions that we don't know what we need to do. So we have so many hypothetical idea, and we have so many hypothetical, the concept, and that concept, when we materialize in a PhD research process, those they know their journey, they know how you can materialize it, whether it is possible or not. So that's why when you, which semester you are now? If I want to.
I'm in the very first semester. I have just come very recently, only 1 month.
This is the right point to, so sometimes we found this problem that already collected the data, so we cannot actually contribute. Okay, so in your stage, I think, you need to read lots. So what you said, this is, we respect that every study, every research will start from the initial research interest. So what you said that, in the journalism perspective, there's lots of, the Western theories, or maybe the theories that they are, the different ideological people involved. So if you think that way, this is a wrong start. PhD research should be, first you need to know that what is the knowledge is there. And it is good that you have ambitions to change the world, but what is good that what I'm going to change, do I know that area or not? Somebody says Western is bad, and I'm also saying I'm a Muslim, I don't like it. This is not right there for the research. Research must be in indifferent mind, but your intention is good. So read more that what you wanted to, the challenge. For example, many of the Western scholars, they want to challenge the Quran. They want to challenge the Muslim and Islamic, the philosophical thought. So they read. Even they learn how to read the Quran, how to explain nations. So then they found that either it is challengeable or not. But initial stage, I'm telling you, as your supervisor, that as a PhD, it cannot be challenged the theory. Because compared to theory, PhD is too primary. Those that develop the theory, they've gone through so many layers of justifications. And then develop the theory. People accept. Everyone in the world, they accepted it. But your PhD, it is very difficult to answer those questions I mentioned today. That's why it is good. Don't leave your ambitions, but reasonably you have to be prepare yourself that you are ready to challenge that ambitions. If it's not that, it is not a right ambitions, it is the meticulous.
Okay, I got.
Okay, so
বাশার ভাই একটু শেয়ার করব।
please. Is an interaction
জি
session.
জি ওই যে কি যেন ভাইয়ের নামটা কি যেন?
হাসানুল বাড়ি।
যে হাসানুল বাড়ি ভাই। আচ্ছা, আমি প্রথম কথা হচ্ছে আমি কাম ব্যাক টু ইউর সুপারভাইজার্স কমেন্ট, যে সে বলছে ইউ আর টু মাচ অ্যাম্বিশিয়াস, রাইট? আমি মানে আমার এক্সপেরিয়েন্স থেকে আমি যেটা বুঝি, পিএইচডি হচ্ছে ভেরি মাইনর একটা ওয়ার্ক। পিএইচডি হচ্ছে এমন একটা গেটওয়ে যে এটা আপনাকে একটা সার্টিফিকেট দিবে যে ইউ নো হাউ টু ডু রিসার্চ নাও, এবং এটা এর পরের স্টেজ হচ্ছে আপনি কি দুনিয়াতে কি রিসার্চ করবেন, এটা পরের স্টেজ। প্রথম স্টেজ হচ্ছে আপনাকে শিখাবে যে কিভাবে আপনি রিসার্চ করবেন। হ্যাঁ, ইন দ্য মিন টাইমে আপনি কেউ 4টা 5টা 7টা পাবলিকেশন করে বেসড অন হিজ অর হার মানে পার্সোনাল ক্যাপাবিলিটিস। ওকে, তো বিষয়গুলো এরকম, যার কারণে আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে যে উনি যদি বলে যে আপনি খুব অ্যাম্বিশিয়াস, আমি মনে করি আমি এগ্রিড ওনার সাথে। বাট আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে পিএইচডি শুরু করতে ভেরি ন্যারো একটা এরিয়া থেকে। যে জিনিসটা মানে কোন ন্যারো এরিয়াটা, এটা বেসিক্যালি যে বাশার ভাই একটা কথা বললেন যে ইউ নিড টু রিড অ্যান্ড রিড। আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে আমাদের পিএইচডির সময় আপনারা যারা আইএমএ পড়েন, ডক্টর আজুর ওমরকে হয়তো অনেকে চিনবেন বিজনেস ফ্যাকাল্টিতে। তো উনি আমাদেরকে বলছেন পিএইচডি হচ্ছে রিড অ্যান্ড রিডিং, নাথিং এলস।
Brother Khairul, we have some international audience, so it's better.
Okay. Sorry. I didn't know that there are some internationals here. Okay. So according to Prof. Dr. Azura, she was saying us that whenever you just think about the PhD, it's all about the reading. First year reading, second year reading, third year reading, until the last word of your writing, it's all about the reading. Okay. So once you can read, you can see the gap basically. Then you try to fulfill or you try to connect the bridge between the gap. That is your and our responsibility as a PhD candidate. Okay. So I believe, we simply cannot think, okay, we have to do, these are the work that I have to do. No, this is not the way. Simply, we find the literature, what is the specific demand, basically based on that particular area or the discipline or a specific topic. Then we can bridge the gap. And one more thing I'd like to tell you here, not only to you only, just including myself. Once we go to any medical doctor,
Right.
If he or she, maybe as a doctor, he said earlier that, okay, today I'm going to give you this medicine. Do you think this is rational, or he or she can do some investigation first?
Of
What
course,
kind
first
of medicine?
he will
Okay,
investigate, then
okay,
based on the
okay,
investigate, he will medicate me.
okay, okay. It's same goes to, same things should apply in PhD as well. We need to investigate through the reading what are the specific medications basically we need to accommodate here. So we should go. Otherwise, our once we just prepare our topic, it's simply consider that we are preparing our medication without looking at the disease or the investigation. So it doesn't matter. I can say, oh, these are the area that I'm interested to work on. But finally, the title should be coming from the literature review and what are the gap, what is the gap basically, then we have to prepare the topic. Otherwise, I would say this is highly ambitious, which might not be, get the accomplishment at the end of the day. So this is my initial comments based on your.
Dr. Khairul, because for the audience, I'm giving you assurance that we have plenty of time. So we'll answer each of individual questions that you have. But just I want to add something with Dr. Khairul, what he mentions that majority of the mistake. I have another sessions that I normally conduct. The common mistake, majority common mistake happen during the PhD and research journey. That supervisor write the title, and we also insisted to write my title by the supervisor. This is wrong, actually. Not only wrong, this is a major wrong. What Brother Khairul mentions, your title, you cannot decide. Your title will be decided by your framework, by your, if framework is combination of, the variables, and that variables will come through the process of, the summary of the literature, justification by the theories, then you can say, yes, this is the relationship I'm going to analyze. So that relationship is your title. In Malaysia, majority I found that, we write the title, and sometimes I'm telling you, one of the, when I was in University of Utara, Malaysia, a Bangladeshi student, he is a professor in a university. And he was so angry. After 6 months, he will leave to Malaysia. I don't want to continue my study. Why? He said, no, my supervisor did not give me the title. Oh, that is the right point. Why your supervisor has to give you the title? He said, no, without title, how can I do my research? Then I asked him, okay, let's make a session. So I spent few hours with him. Then he said, no, I don't need a title anymore now. So that is a good question. I think we can come another questions. Dr. Khairul, is it okay?
Sure, I was just sharing because, once he was talking about the ambition, I think that his professor is right because, he wants to do many things, but PhD, you have limited time, energy, and money, right? So we have to strategize which one will be very straightforward, to utilize your time, basically.
So please, I need your, the support, whether Dr. Khairul. So both of you, we can, the answer.
No, there are many others are here.
That you a very applied question. That is, how actually we can just go through the literatures, and especially I am reading too much, but actually, end of the day, I'm not getting anything. And what can I say? How to take the notes from the literatures. And sometimes I feel procrastination. Oh, this is very problematic. I am so aged now. I have completed my master's before many days. So sometimes I need motivation to study more. Everyone is saying, please study, please study. But I'm studying, I'm not getting anything. So how to get much
I think
through the study?
here. I'm just telling you that the same answer. So there is a different technical part how to do the literature review. There's a systematic way of literature review, the tools, and also that there is some sorts of technical skills that you need. You have to have, the different types of, the technological know-how. But for the reading, I think you have to do the reading. So whatever you read, it is increase your knowledge. But as you said, your supervisor said, you have a limited time. So this limited times, it is in your, you have to set your priorities that how much read is enough for me to come to conclusions. You can be read in your entire your life, no problem. But problem is your reading should be a systematic process to follow that you are going to go a certain destinations. So your destination is whatever you read, and then you compare with the another articles, then compare with the another articles. When you compare with the 100, 200 relevant articles, that definitely it will tell some things that what you need to do, what you are going to do, propose your literature summary. So your reading should be effective. So I think in your stage, please continue reading and to know there is a lots of if you go to the YouTube, find how to the effective way of do the literacy review. What is the best to do the systematic literacy review? What are the tools you need? What are the knowledge you need? What are the skills? So be realistic and the intellect. So I think that will solve you, inshallah. But
Inshallah.
don't stop your reading, please.
I want to ask one question.
Dr. Bashar, just one thing. Somebody once say that I'm reading too much, but at the end of the day, I'm not getting anything. Yeah, this is very common. It's still with us as well. No matter we have done our PhD or not, right? Still we are facing. But the problem is, we are maybe reading some irrelevant to our specific topic. This could be one of the reason that we are reading too much, but at the end of the day, initially what is my suggestion, please do not read entire article. Try to read the abstract first, then introduction, just go to the conclusion part. Then if you need some more explanation, then go to the analysis and discussion part. Because to develop any idea, especially the last part of any paper, you can see the limitations of study, or maybe for the future research, suggestions for the future researchers, meaning that based on that two areas, you simply can see what are the gap basically, what you must do basically, what we should do. So I think you can reduce your reading, which is more relevant, I would say. I'm not saying that you reduce your reading. You can, but I found many friends during my PhD at IIM. Once we go to library, he started reading something else. Of course, as Dr. Bashar said, once you just read, we can get knowledge, but at the same time, it's for time being, it's not a prioritized one. So that's all, brother. Okay.
Thank you.
I think now we will take one question from the those given the questions in the chat box. So one of the question is, I'm reading, what is the correct way for a student who has long study gap to start a PhD thesis preparations? Number one, what are the key points that prof and faculty members want to listen during the PhD defense presentations? And what are the key points to put the slide during the defense, a proposal defense? And then what are the, the confidence that it can be, the help you? So I think there's two questions from out of 4. One is for if someone started a PhD or master's that a long study gap. Another one is, what are the questions and how do you prepare, the proposal defense presentation slides? So can I answer?
Sure.
Okay, so this is ask the questions. Who asked the question? If you can just, is it for, the mention is Matt. Are you there?
Sorry, his name also there, I think, the Mushfiq Ahmed from University.
Assalamu alaikum, Bashar bhai. Assalamu alaikum. Our name Mushfiq Ahmed. So
Okay.
yes, these are the questions from my side.
I want to answer in front of you. That's better that I address the right person. Okay.
Ji, inshallah.
Okay. First of all, yes, long gap. What is the problem for the long gap to start a PhD? First of all, you are not related to spend time to read the articles since long time. You are busy with some other jobs or other the area of studies or area of activities that you had. So first of all, you have to be patient and don't be frustrated and don't be, as Dr. Khairul also mentions, that the over ambitious. So what you need to do, be patient. Slowly you have to adapt the readings and every research without follow the process, right process. You started from a long gap or you started from just fresh, does not matter. Issue is you are in the same the right process, right foundation or not. You started is a fresh start or not. So that's why it is depend on how good you are to find a good foundations. Good foundation means whatever you read, you materialize the literature, and your literature help you to materialize the the literature gap. So follow the right process. This is number one. Even your long gap also will give you the advantage here, because long gap means you are not in the PhD or academic area, but you had a different experience. So you come from the different practical experience that might be, the help you. You are very good in technology, or you are very good in, the intellectual thinkings. You are mature enough. So that's, I think, there is some positivity even for the proposal defense. The proposal, there is a 3 chapter, we call it, you need to prepare. So chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. So again, that you have to start with the chapter 2. You have to do the literature review. And after literature review, you have to prepare your research framework. And after your research framework justified from the, the theory, then you need to write your research title. Write your research objective, write your research questions, write your research hypothesis. So that are the major things you need to prove, you need to defend in your proposal defense. So first of all, same question, whatever I mentioned, but until the methodology part. So today we discuss, after methodology, we discuss the analysis, we discuss the research findings and discussions, we discuss the implications, we discuss the conclusions. So you are at the stage of until methodology. So from beginning to until methodology, you need to answer every questions that they will ask. They will ask the same questions. What is the literature gap? Why this methodology? What is the expected outcome of your research? What is the problem that you are going to solve? So similar questions you need to answer. So when you prepare your presentation slide, the presentation slide, that you need to go through the until the methodology and then expected outcomes. I think that's all for, is it okay?
Okay.
Yes, it is okay. The problem is, from my long study gap, I was in the relevant practical field, but the practical world and the academic world is very different, because now I can compare and I can feel the difference and I can understand the difference, that whatever I learned through my practical experience is not so much related or relative in comparison with the academic world. So the academic world is totally different ideas and different.
You are now? I want to know that what stage you are now.
I just finished my. I will just be giving my proposal defense next month.
Okay,
Inshallah.
That's why in early stage, there's
Yes.
lots of confusion, lots of the misleading, lots of misinformation. So it is very common. So enjoy it. That will bring you the final destinations. And
Inshallah.
my experience I'm share to you, because I'm not a guy that who have a patience to do PhD, honestly speaking. when I come in the first day, the first week of my PhD journey, I challenged myself. Can I, remain in the tables that I can read half an hour times consistently? And I found that no, after 20 minutes, I get out. So that was a challenge. But now, these days, I'm telling you, if I have a holiday or if I have a chance that tomorrow I don't have any meeting, I spend whole night. I wish to spend whole night because lots of things need to do. So it is a process that it will change your lifestyle. It will change your, the interactions. So don't think too much, but do your job. That's my point.
Okay, inshallah. Thank you so much for answering my questions, Bashar bhai.
Bashar bhai, one thing, as he is preparing his, PD next month, I think this is out of his, I mean, that stage that he is new or he has gap. He's already filled the gap already, right? So I think it's no more relevant with this
Yeah,
that he said. He already done because PhD is all about, at IIM, PhD is almost done work, right?
MD Alamin, please mute it. Okay.
Assalamualaikum.
One question. Raise the hand. Abu Hanifa. Abu Hanifa, please unmute and you ask the questions.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
I expected more challenging questions. All question is coming at very early stage. I want the questions that those they are going to face the Viva maybe next month. Yes, please.
Yes, my name is Abu Hanifa Muhammad Noman, and I'm currently doing a PhD at ISTAC, but I have joined IIUM just a few weeks ago. So this is very early stage for me. But still, my question is about resources of data, and you have mentioned who developed the data, who developed the articles I have collected so far. So this could be a question. So my yes, Professor.
Yeah, please continue.
My concern is like there are philosophical schools, whether they are religious or secular. So scholars of particular schools might not be accepted to other scholars. I mean, scholars from other particular schools. So how to deal with these sorts of issues? I mean,
can you tell me about your study because I need to know that how it is related.
I actually did not take the research proposal yet. As I said, I have just joined a few weeks ago. But my concern is the critical discourse on the critical analysis on the existing discourses of interpretation of the Holy Quran. I mean,
I got your point. So I think you are also in a very early stage. So this question is good that you have in your mind that there's some challenging part that conflicting between the Western and leftist and Islamic point of views. But my suggestion would be don't start with the like a very superficial understanding. For example, sometimes we thought that we are all are good and all leftist is bad, all Western is bad. Actually, knowledge point of view is not relevant. But if you study, if you follow the like some things that you exploratory, you call it qualitative research. Yes, it's fine, but qualitative research data collections and the quantitative research data collection is not same. So that's why I think you need to go through at a certain stage ahead, and then you can find this answer, what should be the best way to do. But right now, as you are very early stage, please follow the right process. Follow your supervisor and open your mind. Actually, research as a Muslims, we should not be, started to do a research that we are, someone is negatively explained to us, or someone is bad with us, or someone we are good with, so should not be that way. You have to start a very fresh start, that you are a knowledge taker, receive your knowledge, explore your knowledge indifferently, then it will give you the right understanding. What should be the best way that you can, that define that what you are thinking now. So I think that should be enough for at this stage, because data collection and procedural point of view, it might be the different that when you are in the after 6 months, after 1 year, where you are now. So depend on your stage. Okay, Abu Hanifa?
Thanks, Professor. Thanks.
Thank you for your questions. Okay. So we are
Professor, one question. Can I ask one question?
Please.
Yeah, my name is Kamal. I'm actually at the end of my PhD journey. So whenever I start with my
tell me your research area and
my research area, my program is transdisciplinary sustainability. So I am actually going to integrate hydrology, agriculture, and economics. This distance discipline from science to economics. This is for that reason actually my program is called the transdisciplinary. So I started with hydrological model to figure out the climate change impact on hydrology, and then I go to the agriculture. Now I am actually at the last stage, that is in my program. My supervisor told me that Kamal, you just keep 4 chapters for your thesis, and we actually started with the first chapter it was published in a journal, and then the other 2 are on the web for reviewing process, and the final one is this is the next month probably we will submit my thesis. So today I got a point that you told about that what is the title, how can we actually make the title. So this is a great actually discussion that I got the point. Actually my supervisor didn't give anything. He told me that Kamal, this is your research, you make your title everything. So sometimes I think that why he is supervising. I understand that today that
if I ask you another questions. So you publish your chapter 1 first, am I right?
Yes.
This is a common mistake all over the Malaysia. I don't know other part of the world. Means that you have written your chapter 1 first, am I right?
Yeah.
And then you go to the chapter 2, chapter 3, and all the other parts.
Yes.
So that's why your supervisor, could not able to give you the title, because you started with the title. Am I right? Because without title, you can write your chapter 1. You fix the title first, then you go through the chapter 1. Am I right?
Not like that. Actually, it is actually whenever I every week actually we have meeting. I have a meeting with my supervisor, and supervisor actually whenever he's actually it is actually start with my. I understand. I think. So later actually I approach many methods. Sometimes he actually delete all the things, remove all the things, and told me that okay, you just keep these things. And actually he asked me a lot of questions, and now I understand that he want to make sure that I am actually know how to do that, and what how can I actually do everything. Actually he asked me to make my actually those questions help me to make me confidence. So now actually my question is at the end of this session, that actually my program is little bit two different. One is science and another is economics. So I'm actually a little bit hesitant that how can I actually make the presentation for the defense. So I see that in our university they have some half an hour to make the presentation, and then 2.5 hours for the question and answer session for this. So what is your
yeah, I understood, because
Bashar bhai, So I would say he is lucky enough that he is getting 30 minutes. I think most of the university will give you 20 minutes to present and another unlimited time for you Q&A.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is the in general. So if you are getting 30 minutes, I believe you are super lucky people.
Okay, okay, brother.
Oh, fine, alhamdulillah.
Which university you are studying?
Oh,
MMA.
I am in the Memorial University, Memorial University of Newfoundland. It is Atlantic Canada,
Okay.
Atlantic part.
Well, I just want to ask you that you have the environmental model linked with economical aspect, am I right?
Yes, I am actually doing
How
economic
did you,
side.
how did you embedded this? How did you analyze the data? Or what types of data that you use?
In initial, actually, I did with the hydrological data for the like the remote sensing data to make the model. Then soil data, and there are other like the weather data, weather station data. Those data I used for the hydrological model part. Then I calibrate the model for the.
Hydrological model, actually, what is the you analyze? Or what is the result that you found?
Oh, I actually analyze the stream flow, forecasting stream flow first. Then, later, I actually integrate with machine learning model and try to compare with latest advanced the long-term, short-term memory and model, and then how actually the hydrological model and machine learning model it give the give the results. Then I look the water availability, soil water availability in the watershed area, and how it for the future climate, like next 175 years, how the soil water availability will be there. And then this part actually we are going to see that if this soil water availability is lower, uh, my result is different. Actually, here we see that the precipitation increasing, but in my result, the soil water availability is decreasing. So this is the part, and
It's fine. Just
then I am
yeah.
linking. Then I am linking actually in economics part, like I use data envelopment analysis to find the farming efficiency. Actually, in Western Newfoundland, there are not too much farming. So actually, later I see that how can we measure the sustainability for the point of efficiency. We are going to actually, I'm going to find the efficiency, making a benchmark of the farming. Then which farms are low efficient, then we can think about how to improve their efficiency.
Okay.
So this is the part.
The conclusions, because I want to know your details of the empirical data analysis. So your hydrological model that
Yes.
you analyze for the availability of the water in
Yes.
am I right? So you found
Yes.
found it, right? But data envelope analysis we normally use for the efficiency of the farms. So you have, so I think there is two different objectives you have. So when you go to the present on it, so I think for the statistical point of view, it does not have any relationships with these two, am I
Yes.
right? But
Yes,
it has a
you're right.
separate analysis. So I think you maintain the separate analysis, and then you can, when you conclude it or when you give
Yes.
the recommendations. So as a farm efficiency is based on the the previous data that what you had. And for the hydrological analysis, also previous data too, but next future how it can come up. So I think you can make a your explanation, the link that if there is a low fall water, that might be fact. Whatever the efficiency right now in the the farms that they have. So it can be effect on their efficiency based on water availability, one of the causes, am I right?
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So I think that way you can defense, but if you can make it integrated models, for example, whatever the data you found from the hydrological analysis, and then whatever you found from the DEA analysis, So
Yeah.
then if you can link it, is there any relationship between low fall water that can affect a major effect on the, the efficiency of the farms, that you can show the link. But I think what I understood, it is separate analysis. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it is separate analysis. You are right, and that you are actually you got the point. That is actually for future, not for this part actually.
I think you can link in your writing.
Yes, you are right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the way
So
that.
actually, yeah, I got the point. Actually, today's discussion actually is really very relevant for me. I think that all of the audience today they get a lot of actually whatever you mentioned. I see that it's really very helpful. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for your
Please
good.
signing from Canada, so you are most welcome.
Thank you so much.
Brother Kamal,
Yes,
I
Khairul
just
bhai.
as you mentioned that you are just facing your Viva soon. Am I? Is it?
Yeah, you are right. I think hopefully
Okay.
might be
You may.
January.
Okay. Advance very good luck and all the very best for your upcoming Viva. But I have one thing just to remind you.
Yeah, please.
There are, you will get around 2 to 3 examiners, right? For assessing your PhD. Am I right? During
Yes,
your Viva.
yes.
Might be you get critical questions from them. As you mentioned that you are using sustainability, right?
Yes, I am going to
Okay.
employ
So
sustainability.
the question can come, what are the measurement basically you are using for measuring sustainability, okay? So
Okay.
usually if you, of course, I think as you are doing your PhD on sustainability, I think you are much more, knowledgeable than many others here. So I think you try to see what are the basically pillars of sustainability and how you can link your work towards that pillars. That could be the fantastic. Otherwise, sometimes you might not know that whether all the examiners will be critical enough or not, right? If they are critical enough, they might ask you this question. So I think you need to prepare from now that whether, for example, there are different kinds of, measurements, different kind of, it's called GRI. So you can see which one basically will be more suitable for your answer. You try to just keep in mind, okay?
Yeah, good. Yeah, thank you so much, Khairul
No
bhai.
problem,
Actually,
brother.
I got your point, and hopefully it will help me for prepare myself. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Khairul Islam, also for give some extra additions. Alhamdulillah. So now
Bashar bhai, one thing I just I see that here there are many brothers actually have some difficulties with for aging or for actually I just want to mention that actually I was doing a different job. I was working in Bangladesh. I think that almost more than 12 years in different field. I was working in the rural electrification. Then I come to here for my PhD. So those brothers who are age, my daughter actually is studying in University of Toronto now. She is in the first year. So don't worry about your age. So it is actually like passion. Actually,
how old are you?
I am actually around 40 now, 44. So it is my in my age actually I try to encourage all of brothers that don't worry about your age. Age is like a number. I think Allah will help all of us, but it is in my opinion that PhDs I agree with Khairul bhai and Bashar bhai. Bashar bhai actually I think that it is nothing but like how to research. Actually, I learned how to research during the 4 years. It is my understanding. And literature review, those brothers are struggling. I would say just read, it will be easy for you. It is nothing. It will you will overcome it, but ice the break. This is the understanding. So thank you so much, brother.
Okay, thank you, brother Kamal. And we would like to read another questions because we have actually lots of questions. We need to finish all the questions that as we promised. This brother Mehdi mentions that what is the difference between the master thesis and PhD research, thesis, and how can we know the title is sufficient for PhD thesis? And nowadays, sometimes I see some thesis not sufficient for PhD. Meanwhile, it was accepted in PhD thesis. So, Brother Mehdi, can I request to come to that whether you are available or not?
يا Prof. السلام عليكم.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
آه،
barakatuh. So, we
يعني
have many questions, but I try to, figure out that what should be the best way to address it. So PhD thesis and master thesis, nothing difference in terms of content. They're almost the same content, but there is a differences in terms of weight. So what is the weight? The master's thesis, this is examiner point of view, they expected that this is something new, but maybe in a, the very initial stage. And if there anything, the small, or there is some, in terms of analysis, methodology, data collections, theoretical justifications, any small mistakes, so they just, consider it is okay because it's the early stage of learning. It is not comparing by the number of pages, but it's comparing by the number of weight of the, the how you structure your thesis. For the PhD, it might be an intensive work. You have to develop your frameworks that nobody has done it before. And that framework must be justified by the existing theories. If you go through the quantitative or qualitative, whatever it is, and every single part of the process is very strong justifications. That is the difference. And title does not reflect either it is PhD or master's. Even title from the articles, from the thesis, from the different types of the research project, it's indicate only that what you have done it in the inside. So, but intensity of the title is represents if you use a very strong variables and strong keywords or relevant keywords. That is what you are going to analysis of your or what are going to do your research. From the framework to the data collection to the analysis to comparison. So everything is depend on your framework. If framework is good, your title will be good. If framework, we can do any titles, very nice, but it does not reflect the the right process of the the research. So that's why title does not reflect or represents either it is PhD or master's. Title represents the integrity of your research. Is it in line with your frameworks? Is it nicely structured? So that is the, I think, answer. And yeah, sometimes some, the not sufficient or sufficient of the PhD thesis is going on. It's depend on how we think. So from you, I think, take it seriously, make a nice and best PhD thesis that all of you will be proud of. So I think that's all. Brother Mehdi, is it enough?
Yeah, thank you. جزاكم الله خير.
So I want to know the another question from the audience. Then I will go to the another questions that it is in the the chat box. So any other question from the audience? You want to talk? Okay, if there is no questions, let's go to the next question that, yeah, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you
Yes.
for your presentation. May I ask one question about the proposal defense? Because I face this kind of problem. My assessors was commenting randomly. After that, I wanted to ask him giving the answer. During that time, he stopped me and told me it is not the place for answering. But at the end of my proposal defense, during that time, he asked me, "Do you have any question?" to say something. So before, when he was asking me or commenting during that time, I was trying to giving the answer. So what was the right process to give that answer?
Okay.
And another one, when he was commenting during that time, he was commenting not related to my topic. In that way, from the Bangladesh context, the geopolitics of Bangladesh context during that time, I presented, but he was saying from the Myanmar context. And he told me it is not the geopolitical issue, it is religious issue. When I told him religious history also part of geopolitics, during that time he told me it is not the place to answer for you. So what is this?
Okay, I think if I ask you some more questions to know about details. For example, so examiner, different examiner have the different, the strength and weakness, and also the way of the style that how they're asking the questions. Sometimes some of the the issue is very intensifying and very the almost everybody know that. So if something's there, so the some examiner is very restricted, don't want to listen. So it might be the, I don't know. But if I ask you a question, actually, what it was the questions? Is it your framework? Is it your the methodology? Is it your the research questions or literacy review? What it was the focus?
It was related to the issue that it is not from the Bangladesh perspective, it is the issue of Myanmar.
Means that in your part, in your frameworks, you mentioned that you are going to do a research to identify the way of solution for geopolitical conflict between Rohingya, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. Am I right?
Yeah, but I didn't see it from the Rohingya issue from the Myanmar. Just I want to see it from the issue, all issue or crisis from the Myanmar.
Yeah, I understand. So it means that whatever the issues is there, you are looking for
Bangladesh perspective in the context of geopolitics.
Yeah,
during that time, all crisis is from the Myanmar perspective. During that time, they come in my country. So this refugee is creating crisis for our society, state, all level. This is related to geopolitics. During that time, he told me it is one thing. It is Myanmar issue, not from Bangladesh issue, and it is religious issue, not from geopolitical issue. During that time, I told him it is a religious issue, just a small portion, but it is all overall geopolitical portion, a geopolitical matter. During that time, he told me it is not the place for giving answer.
Yeah, sometimes, when we, for example, for the research point of view, remember that when I started the discussion, I mentioned the research process. So in the research process, there is a different stage of, the justifications. For example, the any issue can be debatable. Either it is from, the more from Bangladesh or less from Myanmar, or more from Myanmar, less for Bangladesh. This is for the some information for angle of, the justification. But issue is for the research process point of view, that if when you develop your frameworks, definitely you go through the number of literature. You have lots of evidence that this research is relevant. So when these types of questions come, I think best way to do that, not only this is not my idea, I just accumulated the idea from existing knowledge. So these are the knowledge that I have. If anything wrong, please tell me that this knowledge is not relevant. So that should be the right way to bring this head-to-head issue-related questions to the evidence-based answering. For example, when you prepare our framework, that when you fix our variables, we cannot fix from our own brain. It is not possible. If we think that what I understood, I fix it my own, in the PhD level, anybody can stop it. So that's why we need a theoretical justifications, that whatever I summarize from the literature, it has the theoretical base, not only from me. Those they have developed the theory, they also have done the same things, but my angle is different. So that's why we need to go through all the justification process, because everybody can stop us. And during the defense time, whatever the proposer and PhD, normally we sometimes intentionally confuse to the student to know what is his strength. Sometimes we disagree, even it is true, it is there, but we say, no, I don't agree. So it is not all questions is, the answerable, but all question has to be nicely addressed with the, the right process of the evidence. So I don't know, because maybe if we can discuss details, we can find the, the more way to what should be the, the next that you have to have prepared. But what I understood what you said, that everything, if it is in order based on the research process, there is evidence, there is justifications. Nobody can stop that this is not relevant. Nobody can stop, because proven knowledge can answer enough that yes, this is relevant. So we can discuss later, Brother Saifuddin.
Okay, thank you for your nice insights.
Yeah, so we have another one is, yeah, Asma Ibrahim.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum. Can I be heard?
Yeah, it's
Okay, just a small introduction. So I'm currently actually taking my master's in MMU, a Master's of Philosophy and Management to be exact. And my research topic is the effects of financial literacy on women entrepreneurs' business performance, the case study, which would be Malaysian case study. So my question is, coming back to the methodology or chapter 3, because I'm actually preparing for my PD next month.
Okay.
So regarding the methodology, especially when measuring items that have multi-dimensional layers, such as performance and financial literacy, what are the effective methodology to adopt? And especially when attending the PD, what are those things that I should look for and put within my presentation, or what should I expect from the panelist?
Okay, there's a lots of issues that I need, that I got from you. So number one, I need to clarify. So you are going to do the women empowerment, am I right?
Yes.
How do you measure the women empowerment?
Based on their business performance.
So if there is a good business, is it indicate the women empowerment?
Not necessarily, because my focus is actually not women empowerment. Woman is just the context. My main variable would be financial. So what I am trying to do is I'm trying to measure women's financial literacy especially from the SME sector, and what is
your dependent variable?
My dependent variable will be business performance.
Business performance. We can also say
And
like
I have, sorry to cut you short, and I have two mediating factors, which is access to finance and entrepreneurial orientation.
And IB is literacy.
Yeah, and IV is financial literacy.
Okay. For business success, you can also, as you mentioned, that your data is coming, respondent is the women business, am I right?
Yes.
So if it is there, then you can also consider that if you have, how do you measure the business success?
So I'm measuring, that is also part of the I wouldn't say issue, but that is part of the challenge now, because there's quite a fragment of ways to measure performance. And which I choose or I decide to exclude will also determine the effectiveness of the reliability. But I am going with profit and growth, which is the standard.
Okay,
And
so this is a very, very standard. If you go to the profit and growth, profitabilities, so it means that you are going to use the secondary data or primary data.
I know I'll be using primary data, so I'll be using question S.
So it means that you are the performance is good. It means that those women, they are successful entrepreneur. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so and your other questions from the access to finance and entrepreneurial orientations is a mediating. All right.
Mediating variables, correct.
Same like the questionnaire. You are going to ask the questionnaire. Have you collected the data?
No, not yet. I have not collected any data so far.
He's preparing for PD next month.
Yeah. So now
He's preparing.
before Dr. Khairul, in our practice, that before go for the PD, we want to see the at least pilot test that how data is look like. So I think it's fine. So that whatever you have prepared, your model, I think not bad. So please prepare your presentations for the PD that follow the research process.
Okay.
So whatever you have developed, your frameworks, you should have enough justifications from your literature. If you have used any theories, please identify the theories that.
The theory that I'll be using is the RBV theory, which is the resource based view theory, because this is so
Understood. So you have to be, the very specific. Which elements from the research-based view theories reflecting to your yeah, please.
Sister Fatima, right?
Asma.
Sister Asma. Okay, I have just to remind you one thing. RBV theory, once you're just trying to measure the organizational performance, for me, it's you need to think twice, basically, whether only RBV is good enough theory to justify these things or not, okay?
Yeah.
Because for the organizational performance, once you measure organizational performance or business performance, same thing. There are some other relevant theories must be included. So you may think we simply cannot, suggest you unless you discuss with your supervisor details, because ultimately your supervisor is supervisor and you are the main authorship of these things, right? So I think whenever your supervisor will say, maybe you can think twice whether you are just going to add or one or two additional theories here or not.
So far, my supervisor mentioned that the RBV does have a well-off relationship, but he has asked me to include some other theories because
exactly
within my literature view, I have to justify why RBV is the best. So he asked me to include other relevant or other, because he mentioned something that the panelists will also ask why you didn't use. It's not only about using.
Because why? Because if you study the RVV theory, just main motto of RVV theory is the internal factors are more important than external, right? So I think as you are just using the financial things, I agree this is relevant, but for measuring financial performance, it might not be good enough. I would not say good enough. It's not good enough, might not be, okay? So maybe you may think twice whether you can. And your unit of analysis should be organization, not individual. Am I right?
No, it's organization. So
okay.
How do they organize themselves? But part of the reason why I used RBB was because success factors can be internally and can be externally, and it can be controllable and non-controllable. So I didn't want
to. Sister Asma, once you talk about that success factor can be from internal and external, right?
Yes.
Once you go for the external, RBB is not working anymore.
Exactly. So
because RBB is only for the internal factors. As I mentioned, this is the main motto of the RBB, right?
Yeah.
So you need to, if you think that the external factor also can play a big role for organizational success, or then you need to add other theory as well. Okay, that's my suggestion.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I think we go for the next questions. It is already a long session. So, is there any questions from the audience? Okay, if it is not that, I read a few questions and we'll answer together. The one question, how can you...
Prof. I have one question regarding the research objective, because the social science and the applied science always outcomes is different, and sometimes social science cannot interpret the desired result, but always applied science show the desired result. In this case, or in this scenario, uh, what is the output of the social science outcomes?
Dr. Brother Khairul, can you...
I'm not clear about the question, frankly speaking. Because,
Okay,
okay, come again.
Okay, actually, Prof, I want to ask, when we set the research objectives in the social science
Yeah.
perspective, we desired the outcomes, but in findings scenario, we cannot get the actual result. But the applied science area, when we set the research objective, finally we find or we simulate the results, actual result. In this case, is there any differences when we finish our PhD study? Is there have any difficulties?
I don't think so. It's difficulties because, social science and applied science is a bit different, Social science, you may think, okay, this could be to analyze, to examine, to see something, right? Once you see, the result can be your expected or out of your expectations. It can be. So you just leave it to them. If you're outside, for example, once you go for, hypothesis, for example, you got 10 hypotheses, right? For example, your 6 or 7 hypotheses become wrong, meaning that non-accepted. Do you think this is the wrong, result? Not really, right? Because this is not accepted, meaning this is the new findings. That could be your new suggestions for the future. So, ours is, we cannot simply expect, okay, this could be the result. This can be anything, what I understand from your question. So I think do not try to match with the applied science and the social science. It is bit open. We can start work on getting something. We may get it or we may not get it. End of the result we can see.
Okay, doctor. Thank you.
I'm not sure. I think I'm not good enough to just answer your question, because for me, I think still I'm not very clear what basically your question is all about. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. My issues, bro.
Okay.
Brother Dr. Khairul, I think what I understand from the brother Anayat, that sometimes social science, what we expect from result is not fulfill the expectation because data result is different. Rather than applied science, whatever they simulate, they're very straightforward and got the result. So I think as you are from the social science, don't think about, the more about applied science. Think about you. If your data and result not that strong, find the strong arguments and justifications that result is enough. So we cannot also say that social science result is not, straightforward. Social science result also is somehow the way of social science that we interpret. We can fix it, that this is the result that we found and this result means that. So there is no, the hide and seek, or there is no the place that we can say that that there is a indecision or decision, we cannot make it. If the result is not relevant, we need to find the justifications. And that justification, if it is enough, okay, whatever it is, because social science is a different and complex scenario. It might not be that everybody has the same opinion. So that's why social science people and expertise also accept it. I think that's from my opinions.
One more thing, the scholar from the social science says that if we expect something before we get the result, it's like we are become biased, right? So I think it cannot be. So just we can start work. Let's see what is the result. What are the results that we are just receiving at the end of the day of the research? That could be our findings. It can be favorable for me. It can be non-favorable. Doesn't matter.
I think we are very close to our sessions. So there is a few questions I summarized from the chat box. Majority is from the literature review. How many articles is enough? What are the points that we need to extract from the literature? And then, the where we can find the right literature and all those things. So if I just summarize, actually, literature review, when we go through, world is, the open. Knowledge is there. You need to know how to collect the articles. Where is the sources of articles? And are those sources of articles is relevant to your research or not? For me, for the proposal study, until proposal, the preparing of, the literature gap, I think 200 to 300 articles you have to go through. So initial stage, you don't know, you don't need to go through all of the articles, the details, but first you need to scan that those article is relevant to you. So out of those relevant articles, that if you can summarize, that is we call the core articles. So maybe 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 articles is most relevant in your research. So then you can get the instruction and guidelines from all those articles that is most relevant. And what are when you do the literature, what do we do normally? We are going to to compare the 4 things. What it was the objective of the articles, what it was the methodology of the articles, and what was the findings and recommendations. These are the 4 things we extract from the each of every literature that we have. So that is the way you need to design your literature review chapter. And there is no limits actually, but 300, maximum 300 to 200 to 300 is a relevant and standard. It will give you the, the good answer that what should be your way of journey. But that good answer is not enough, that if your article is not relevant. So you should have the skills to find the relevant articles. So that is also will not come one day. You need to learn, search, and then find the techniques. For example, for me, I can find in 10 minutes time, I can explore most of the relevant articles in this field. So this is not come one day. I gone through the thousands of hours spent here, and then now I know where is the articles and how we can collect the articles, how we can customize to search the articles, that we can find the best articles and relevant articles within short times. So this is the experience process you have to go through. I think that's all. If you don't have any burning questions, we can, almost going to end of our sessions. From my side, if Dr. Khairul Islam want to add anything, I think, brother, please.
No, basically, I don't have to add anything. Just one suggestions to all of my brothers and sisters, those who are here today. Once we go for the literature review, I think there are 2 kinds of paper that we need to find. One for the usual literature, another one for specifically for the problem statement or the research issues. My humble suggestions to all of you, those who are going to start your proposal, for the problem statement, try to find not more than 3 years old papers, especially for the problem statement, because this is the heart of any proposal or thesis. If it is old, might be somebody else in other parts of the world has taken these issues, and I think once you are taking this as well, nothing new, nothing contributing, uniqueness. So this is basically the one thing I'd like to tell. That's all from me.
Okay, I think brother Dr. Maruf, we finish our part. So
Okay, thank you very much. So I think Alhamdulillah, even though we exceeded almost 12 minutes, but Alhamdulillah, it was really a fruitful discussions. We got Alhamdulillah many participants feedback. That's really wanted. Thank you very much also Dr. Bashar Bhai and also Dr. Kharul Bhai to share your insights. So if there is nothing from our organizing committee, brother Murtaza, brother Bashir Bhai, then we could stop here, or what should you do, please? Brother Murtaza.
I think that's all for audience. Please keep with us. We have a the WhatsApp group, so you join with us. So this is an online interaction. So we also want to go to each of your university for arranging these types of interactions, more in specific, the different area, how to construct the research framework, how to write a literacy review, how to, construct the problem statements, and how we analyze the data, how to fix the, theoretical frameworks, research frameworks, so many things we can be part. Also the different types of software, for example, we have the referencing software, we have the data analysis software. So we also can do the workshop for, the data interpretations. So keep it with us. We'll come through the different initiatives in future. I think that's all for today. And thank you for brother Murtaza. Can you share the link, our WhatsApp link, to all of them that they can join? I think that's all for today. That's all for today, and I really appreciate your participations, and especially interaction volunteers from Dr. Khairul Islam, and we want to keep continue these initiatives in future.
Inshallah, inshallah. Thank you very much. Well, so hopefully we could finish. I think already we also shared the link, those who need certificates. So please try to fill up the Google form. And
I think please
Dr.
email the
Bashar Bhai,
WhatsApp link that those they have needed.
some of
Okay, okay, Dr. Bashar Bhai, I'm sharing now. Sorry, Dr. Maruf Bhai, I was mute option.
okay, no
So
problem.
now I'm sharing the link of a WhatsApp group, inshallah.
Okay, some of the participants also asking for the slides that presented Dr. Bashar Bhai at the beginning. So could you please share, or is that
Yes, I already wrote in the text box. So who are actually registering the through the link, then I will share later, inshallah.
okay? So thank you very much. I think we got the information, all the details from Dr. Bashar Bhai. So you, inshallah, keep continuing these important events at least once in a month. Every month we try to arrange. So we need all of your support and cooperation. Please spread the message and try to include in our WhatsApp group. Even you may ask some questions to directly to the Dr. Bashar Bhai, because he is very flexible, and you may ask any times to get some help. So may Allah bless us, and we try our best to do excellent in our research and innovation, hopefully, inshallah. So this is the all of our session today. So if we could finish, just we can recite Surah Al-Asr.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
So also, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.
Shukran jami'an.
Assalamualaikum. Bashir Bhai aছেন?
জি, বাসার ভাই মারুফ বিল্লাহ ভাই একটু থাকেন, খাইরুল ভাই থাকলেও থাকতে পারেন আর কি, অসুবিধা নাই।
ভাই আমার একটু ইমার্জেন্সি আছে, আমার একটু ছেড়ে দেন।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, নট নেসেসারি। আমি তাহলে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ গ্রুপে আপনাদের গ্রুপ আছে সেখানে একটা মেসেজ দিয়ে রাখতেছি আর কি।
ইনশাল্লাহ ইনশাল্লাহ ঠিক আছে। ওকে ইনশাল্লাহ তাহলে বেস্ট অফ লাক। আসসালামু আলাইকুম, জাযাকুমুল্লাহ খাইরান।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম ওয়া রাহমাতুল্লাহ।